In this dashboard, we might want to add a few KPI objects on the right-hand side here. And for instance, we're looking at revenue, gross profit, and profit percent. And maybe these values should be shown as a KPI object. So let's go into design mode and add a KPI object. And the KPI object very often just shows a single measure, like the sales revenue measure here. So let's just resize it, but you can see it's just showing the sales revenue without any filters at all. So if I put this one to the right hand side over here, with the proper size, we can look into our formatting options, properties of this KPI object. So it's the total revenue of 2022 we're looking at. So let's go into properties. And the first thing I would like to do here is to change the KPI image. Currently, we're looking at the most simple one, just showing the value. You can have this one with the value and the measure title. You can also have one with a colored bar here. Maybe this one can be affected by a color agent. So when the value is above or below a certain value, it might change color. We got something here that says a headline. You won't be able to see the headline until you enter one, until you enter a title. So I'll just put in equipment as my title here. And now we can see this one as a headline up there. All right, let's move on to the next one here, labels. So this is the label, it's just the name of the measure, and I would like a more simple label name. So let's just put in revenue or sales here. So now we're seeing that. Values, if we move into that part, this one here, currently just a measure value. By the way, you can change the source font. So if you disable this one here, you see when it's enabled, it's using a font from the image file itself. But when you disable it, you can select your own source font. So maybe we would like to go with maybe a size. Let's do a size 40 and bold, like this. The number here, maybe we like to see this in just in millions. So you can go here and use the hashtag for number formatting. So instead of using the current format, we can change it into a true decimal format and go into advanced format, specify the positive numbers. And in this case, I would like to use a unit size of millions and just add a trailing text M for millions. So now we get something like this. All right, oh, by the way, this color bar, didn't really want that, so I'm going to change my KPI image back to the one with just a headline, value, and a label. Right. The last tab over here, colors. I very often add a background color here, typically a light gray one, just so that the KPI image or the KPI image area stands out like that. So that's my first KPI object. We also need KPI objects for profit and profit percent. I'll start out by duplicating my first KPI object, move it down here, and well, let's go and redefine. Now we don't need the revenue, but profit and profit percent instead. And let's just fetch data. Of course, we need to change quite a few things here because it's clearly not revenue anymore. But also, we are looking at two measure values. So change your KPI image. Instead of using this single measure value, you can see you can also have something with 2 or 3 values. So let's pick one of those that can contain 2 values and a headline and a couple of labels. So this one should work here. Now let's change those 2 labels at first. So labels, not revenue now, but in this case profit. And the second measure, the second label, is now my profit percent, or you might call it profit margin. All right. Now the values of my profit is okay, but this one here needs to be changed. I'm going to use the same font as the other measure, so I'm going to pick my size 40 bold for that one as well. But also the number format here, in this case, I should be able to just pick the percent formatting to get 10.57% like this. So that's about it. Now I got my dashboard with those two KPIs.